Hey guys, thanks for joining me again today. Today what I'm going to do is attempt to repair my garage door opener. First time I've ever done this before. Um, you know, I guess for me it's just troubleshooting, right? You just troubleshoot until you resolve the issue. And this particular unit has been out actually since the hurricane. It's been over a year ago, so I've just been manually lifting the door up and down. But I finally decided, I actually called a repairman to come and never got a response back. So I didn't really pursue it that heavily. But anyway, this is a Genie professional line Intel G1200, and here's the part up here on the ceiling. Of course I got a fan. It's kind of my garage shop. And you got to take this cover off, obviously, to start the work. Let's see if I can go through here, being as I've already got it apart. Let's see. Let me see. Start from the beginning. Okay, so we've got this mounted up here. I'm just going to kind of briefly go over how I took it apart. There's two screws here. Those were 5. So these two screws here are 5/16, and you probably can't see it, but if you can, I've got them here. I just put them back in. There's 2 grounding screws. You have a power, you have the motor, another motor sensor, and then all your wires for the safeties and the push button on the wall. So once you take these 2 screws out, you can rotate this down. There's 2 little latches here that catch on this setup, and then you have a control board. So that's where we're going to pick up. I'll show you what it looks like to be the problem on mine, and then we'll move forward from there. Okay, so here's how the board sits into the housing. We've got these little 1/4" screws here, and they go here, and I think it's, where is it? Was it just 2 screws? Sorry, I just got it sitting. Oh, okay, one right here as well. So 3 screws, and yes, I have 3 screws. Okay, so what I wanted to show you, and what I believe the problem to be, is I think it's on the primary side of this transformer. You can see here, and I'll just point with the, you can see how it's black. Okay, and my experience with this is that winding has burnt out, either a surge in power or something of this nature. And why I believe it's the primary side is with it connected, of course it's not 100% because you could have some other path of continuity, but see my meter. Okay, so it just shows that I have 0 resistance right there, and right here there is no continuity there, so it's an open circuit. So see, I've got 0 resistance or continuity and no continuity. Now if you want to look, there's a little bitty copper wire that's attached to these points. If you look at yours, if it's damaged, then you'll see that. Okay. On this side, this is the secondary. I'm almost 100% positive, and you can see that I'm not touching the iron core, but it has continuity all the way through all the windings. Okay, so we've got the new board secured. We've got our 1/4" screws attached here, and I'll just test this primary side, and we're going to have to let the windings charge, but I believe we'll see that this has continuity through. Okay, so see that we have continuity. on the primary side. So if you could find this transformer, you could probably just replace it on the board. I think it was like 6 solder joints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 solder joints on this, and you could pull that off and replace it. Okay, so let me just double check and so we do see that J, D, and C is removed. So I'm going to take my little micro side cutters and cut C out. Now that one's removed. Okay, so on this model, this plug, the green wire is all the way on the right side, with the way this plug fits in, and on this one, I'm just going to double check. It appears to be on the opposite side. So the red and green are swapped. Okay, so on this piece of paper where it shows the details of the circuit board, if you have the motor like I have, which appears to be this one right here, it says type 1 and it just has one plug. It's showing green, black, red, while my original harness was red, black, green. Okay, so if you come over here on this side, it says if your motor compares to motor type 1, remove existing harness from the motor and plug pre-installed OPTO sensor harness from the new control board directly into the motor. So that was my question earlier, and it appears to be resolved with this statement here. And again, I do have it unplugged during this whole process. Also, one thing to note is that it came with that new wall button, and it says that that is to be used with the Series 2 controllers, so you want to make sure to change your wall button if you don't have that Series 2. Just to note, this is my old one, and I don't know if I can get that in focus or if it is in focus, but it says note, use only with Series 2 controllers. So that is the same, these two are the same, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this and put the new one in storage, because I did have one of these go out already. 3 wires hanging out. Now what do we do? So this is when we get the manual, and sorry for this, but the sensors that go down at the bottom are in the first 2 slots. One side, or like in this case, it's the striped wire goes to the first hole, and the white wire would go in the second hole together, and then the next 2 slots would be your controller, your push button. So I'm going to go ahead and wire that up. Do is plug in the unit, and we're going to go ahead first. If you read the instructions, you're going to have to go step 2 through 5, and what it says to do is press and hold down the negative button for 2 seconds, or until the long LED comes on blue. The round LED should stay off. Release the down arrow, and the long LED will begin flashing. The round LED is still off. Press and hold down the down arrow, begins closing the garage door. When the garage door is fully released, the down button, release the down button. If you have gone too far, press the up button, move the door up slightly. Once that is set, then you press the program button. So my door is already closed. What I'm going to try plug this in, and I'm going to hold the down arrow for 2 seconds. It should be already in the location, and I won't have to move it up or down. I'll just hit the program button, and so that should do the up. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I have that, and I'm going to press and hold the down button for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, so the long LED began flashing. We've got that. So it's already down into the position. So I'm going to press the program button and LED flash blue and go off. Both LEDs. 6 through 9, press and hold the up arrow for 2 seconds or until the long LED comes on blue. 1 and 2. Okay. Now, release the up arrow, and the round LED will begin flashing blue. Okay, and that is the case. Press and hold the up arrow till the garage door is fully open. Okay. Well, it didn't catch, so let me go down. Oh. There we go. Okay, we are fully open, and release the program button. Both LEDs flash blue and then go off. Okay, so I just wanted to show, I did use the safety sensors that are on each side of the door, and now I'm indicating a red light. Okay, and another note, let me turn this here. Okay, kind of funny, this is over my head. So I just used the safety sensors on either side of the garage door, and you can see the red light is flashing. So it actually, I tripped it with my foot and the door came back up. So everything is working at the moment. I don't have any remotes programmed. One thing I have to mention, when I set the limits, the lower limit was not set properly, and also the wall console, I had the lock button set. So you have to make sure the light is on the wall, and I'm pointing to it, sorry, is on, so actually the console, the wall console is activated, so that will allow this to work properly. I don't know if you noticed when I was adjusting these that I had 2 red lights, so that was telling me that I had an issue, and that was because the wall console was not active. So once I activated that, I reset the lower limit by pressing the down arrow for 2 seconds, jogging it all the way down, and set it, and then press the program button, and now that light is eliminated. So I'm going to go ahead, you can see the garage doors right here, and we've got a red light. I'm going to go ahead and press the wall console and see if we get it at full closure. Alright guys, so thanks again for joining me. This garage door fix, it seems a little daunting in the beginning, just because I hadn't done it. Not really that big a deal. If you have the right components and you have the ability to do a few screws and terminate a few wires and read just a few instructions, I think it's pretty easy and straightforward. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.